Over the past 2 years, I've only worked 3 days a week, and it's much simpler than you think as long as you can actually learn this one skill that I learned, where you can work remotely, actually do it without starting a business, without drop shipping, without building up your social media presence. But just learning this one skill has allowed me to take 4 days off a week to travel, hang out with family, exercise, do whatever I want, hang out, watch hockey, and actually enjoy that time with my family, be fully present, and then work super hard the other 3 days. So if that sounds interesting and you're actually good at communication, you're interested in working remotely and earning an absolute killing, stacking $10,000, $15,000, even $20,000 a month, then this video is for you, so keep watching. So what exactly am I talking about? So this is the 3-day work week that has made me $21,541 on average per month across the 2.5 years that I've been doing this. And there was 1 month in specific that I actually closed $68,000 in commission. So this was commission in my bank account that month in just 14 days of working. Yes, 14 days is a little bit more than 3 days a week. I understand. There was 2 days of the month where I actually work 4 days a week. And so that is the math behind it. We're going to go through it. It's pretty incredible. But just before we go into that, just to show you my proof on actually what I'm talking about, this is what I mean. This is the calls that I took on that day. So 12/28/2024, I closed 32,000 in cash collected, 37,000 average cash per call of 36.94. We have another screenshot here. This is in our group chat, by the way, so I had to block out some of the group chat names and all that. But I had 1 call booked, closed 8, 25,000 cash collected, 43,400 revenue, $25,800 cash per call. Obviously, I had 1 call that day, so it's a little more skewed. And if you're not in the industry, don't worry, I'm going to explain what all this means, but it has context. This day right here, 1/26/25, so about a year ago, I had 9 calls booked. I closed 5. I had 18,000 cash collected, revenue 28,000, and then 2019. And then same here, $27,000 revenue day, 19,000 cash collected, 4 calls booked, 7 closes, 4,900. Okay, and they just go on and on. These were some of my best days. I had 1 call that day, closed 1,000. Now the reason why this is relevant is because you can see that I work in 3-day chunks, and then this was just an extra call I had, probably just a follow up or something. I don't know. But 9 calls booked, 11 closed, 32,000 cash collected, 53,525 revenue, cash per call. Right here, same thing. 1 call booked, 8 call close. 25,000, 43,000, boom, boom, boom. And then 1 last here, another good day as well. Okay, so the reason I'm showing you this is it's actually the proof behind the system that proves that this is not a scam. If you think this is a scam, it's not. If you think it's a pyramid scheme, it's not. I don't know what to tell you. It's just not. If you want to believe that, that's fine. We can all earn money. You can stay on the sidelines. But let me actually show you the number here. So $68,000 in commission to earn in a single month while working 14 days in that month, not 14-hour days, just 14 days total in that month. So here's what that actually looked like. My top month was 68,000 commission. The rhythm was 3 to 4 working days. Like I said, that month I worked 4 days a week on 2 of the weeks. And then obviously the lead source, which is most important, is warm leads booked directly to your calendar. So I don't prospect, I don't chase these leads. I don't freaking knock on doors and do my own advertising. This is just me as a closer, and I take warm leads on my calendar. So again, if this sounds super interesting, it freaking is, because it makes a killing and it is popping off. So here's the actual math behind it. This is the deal math. Fewer days worked doesn't mean less money earned. And the reason why this is because it matters what your focus is on when you're actually working, which is what I discovered, which is huge. And if you actually stack your days, you can accomplish more with more focus. It means tighter focus on the actions you're actually generating revenue. These charts tell the story. Week 1, you work 3 days, you have about 14K in commission. Week 2, you work 4 days, you have about 22,000 in commission. And these are my actual commission results, by the way. Week 3, you work 3 days, 18,000 commission. Week 4, 4 days, 14,000 commission. This is literally how the breakdown works. This is what happened. Now, if you're doing the math in your head and you're like, holy shit, that is a crazy amount of money per day. Yeah, it definitely is. And little 22-year-old me definitely needed the money because I was actually going through divorce then. So I was really motivated and I was super sharp. I still am sharp, but you have to have a really strong why. So here's the takeaway. Working 3 to 4 days a week didn't dramatically change the output. Focus did. I focused. When every working day is a revenue day, the math changes entirely. Now, most of you will say, well, I work 7 days a week, and that's great. I'm all about working every day. But when you have condensed, focused, I'm not doing anything else right now. I'm just going to work, and that's all I'm going to do. It really helps you get into a flow state, a rhythm, which is what happened. So 14 total days worked, $16,000 in commission. That's $4,857 per day. And that's like actual commission hitting your account. There is no ad spend and drop shipping cost and all that. No, that's like commission in my account. So this is the system I actually used for this. It's remote, it's simple, it's repeatable, and this really isn't a complex operation. It's a clean workflow that runs on a booked calendar. So think of a calendar, like a Zoom call calendar. And on that calendar, you have booked calls. So you have warm leads that automatically book into your calendar. And then all you do is you have to close those calls. That's it. These are people who already follow influencers, some of your favorite influencers. Think of Alex Hormozy, V-Shred. Think of some of your favorite real estate gurus, Airbnb, trading gurus, TGR. Think of Brez, all these different people. And all they do is those influencers attract people who really like their content, who actually want to have that same lifestyle and want to buy their products to learn how they did it. This is what you do. They book onto your calendar and then you close them. The calendar is the operating system. My entire workday is built around booked calls, not prospecting, not cold outreach, not hunting. By the time I show up to the call, the lead is already warm and expecting me. I do have a setter who goes through this and also pre-qualifies these leads, which we're going to go through right here. The positioning of warm leads. So every booked call on my calendar is pre-filtered opportunity. This means they've already gone through questionnaires saying, hey, are you financially qualified? What makes you interested in this? What is your actual motivation? So then by the time they hit your calendar, let's say you have 10 slots open and you don't want just 5 good slots taken up. You don't want just 5 good leads and then the other 5 suck. You want 10 really qualified leads. So you might need to have 15, 20 leads booked on your calendar to filter out those bad ones. So this is not a cold conversation. This is warm from the scratch. So that leverage is what makes a 3-day work week possible because people are happy to work around their day to meet with you in the time slots available. So total conversion rate is around 18% for warm leads. So that's lead to close rate. So that's not just your overall show rate. If that doesn't make sense, that's okay. But when your leads are already warm and booked, you're not selling to strangers. You're just confirming a decision for people who are already interested. There's no cold calling or prospecting, no time wasted. Higher show rates and pre-qualified leads, calendar time, revenue time, nothing else. That's what matters. You don't do anything else on those days. Now, by the way, you're probably wondering at this point, okay, so this is high ticket sales. You're taking calls on your calendar. How do I do this? Where's the actual positions? Is this oversaturated? No, it's not oversaturated. In fact, it's growing a ton. And we have a really cool offer right down below in the first link in the description. If you want to be trained and placed, we do this within 30 days or you don't pay. So that's our guarantee. So if you literally don't get placed and trained within 30 days, obviously we did something wrong or you didn't follow the process. So that is our guarantee to you. If you're wondering, what are the jobs you have available? I prepared this little spreadsheet. So week by week, you can see how many jobs we had. And this week was a record week. We had right here 104 positions available. And these are all hiring right now. These are not in the interview process. These are just accepting applications. These are the hardest to find because if you're entering the industry and you don't have experience and you don't have the actual connections, that's why people come to me. You pay the check for speed, you get in the industry quick so you can leave your crappy job. Obviously, if you're happy with your job, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. So if you want to get in the industry, what you got to do is click the link down below, apply with the call with my team and see if you qualify for the guarantee and to get access to our job board and placements. As you can see, just a couple here, coaching for women, 10 to 15K, 10 to 15K capital advisory, 12 to 16K prep for high school students. We have lots in here with women's offers, marketing offers, done for you e-com, marketing for pool builders. That's kind of cool. Marketing operations for coaches. We have parenting coaching and family development, crypto investment firm, photography, 6 to 7K per month. And most of these are very, very average and very, very easily attainable targets. Now, I'm not going to be putting 30, 40 grand on the actual paper here. This is realistic targets that you can hit. Now, if you're good at communication, you can exceed these easily, but we don't want to set the bar at 20 grand a month and then you hit 10 because that doesn't feel good. We want to set the bar at a pace where you can actually hit it first couple months, then you can ramp up and do even better, which is what most offers do. So when you see that I made 68,000, that was my 14th month, 15th month on the offer. It took a while to get there, but my average was 23,000 per month across that time. Stem cell therapy, 15K a month, Forex trading, 10K a month. I mean, there's just tons. So if you guys want access to this, first of all, subscribe to the channel. And second of all, apply with the link in my description and book a call with us to see if you can qualify for it. Okay, but let's keep going here. So what I track every week is very simple. The 3 main work week things I track is show rate. So 60% of percentage of calls actually show up for the conversion rate. So if I have 10 calls in a day, 6 will show up. That's great. That leaves me time for a little bit of follow-up as well as some upgrades, which I love doing. And then we average a 30% close rate. Now, this is very realistic. You guys saw from the screenshots, you can do a lot more from that, obviously, but that's just what I average across different time periods. Now, what I like to actually track as well is the lead to close rate, right? So these are no-shows. it's around 18% lead to close rate, which means when you get 10 calls, you're probably going to close 2, and then you could build up to it. Bookings per week, you need to have at least 8 to 12 slots a day available. If you're going to work 3 days a week, so you're available to take obviously like 25 to 40 calls a week on average. And this is what actually made me 21 grand a month. So very simple. These are the KPIs to follow and understand. Now, this is what actually leads people to live the life that they want, because the 3-day schedule didn't come from ambition. It came from actually burnout. I learned the hard way to optimize time, and subtracting work just delays the reset. The old way of this is you got to work more hours, more calls, more days, more exhaustion. And basically you just look super busy, but you're just so burnt out. You're not optimized. You're not rested. And you might have heard the term, a rested horse is a fast horse. And I love that saying because it's so true. The horse that is rested will go the fastest. Now, you don't need to rest all the time. That's not what I'm saying, but you need periods of rest. So I rebuilt the week around revenue windows, my 3 days of working per week, the specific time blocks where closing work actually happens. Everything outside of that window becomes optional or eliminated. The goal is protect a few hours per week that decides the outcomes of the whole month. This is so important, and I highly challenge you to actually work at this and design your life around this way. The 3-day blueprint is essentially this. Not all working days are equal. Once I understood the 3 types of days, I stopped treating Tuesday the same as Thursday, and income got consistent. We have revenue days, we have reset days, and we have recharge days. And it's very simple. When you're working, the only thing that you're focused on, especially as a sales rep, is you want to maximize out of each call that was booked. The influencer works hard to get those calls booked to your calendar, and you just have to get on the call with them, make sure to nail it out of the park, close them for as high as possible. That's it. Okay. So these are concentrated blocks. Calendar is fully booked with calls. There's zero admin crap work, no emails. And when you're in sales mode, it's important to not do admin work. You're just in sales mode, zero distractions, just closes. The reset days is where you prep, you clean up, pipeline review. You can do some of the admin crap just to keep in touch with everything. Or if someone texts you and they need something of a past lead, you just, respond to them real quick, and that's it. You just keep up to date. These are the days where if you go on a hike, you go on a little trip, it really helps reset yourself and you come back even stronger, no burnout. And then we have the recharge days where there's absolutely no work, full stop, Sundays, whatever day you decide, that's fine. These days are what makes revenue days sustainable week after week, especially if you're going into sales. This sounds great. And you might really need money right now. And you're like, I'll work every single day of the week. That's fine, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's great. But this is not the life that you want to live forever. You want to make 3 to 5 grand a week. You want to have a really balanced life. That's what you want most. And you might not be thinking that right now, but if you have a spouse or if you want a spouse and you want kids, this is how to actually have a family that you enjoy spending time around, is when you're rested. This is the subtraction that made the money possible. Adding more effort didn't unlock income. Removing the wrong effort did. Here's how time actually splits across high output weeks. The subtraction principle is very simple. I walked away from low return commitments, extra meetings, all that crap, non-revenue calls, the just in case admin work, the free setup capacity, and I moved the number to just revenue producing activities. So here's the key rule. If it doesn't change the outcome in the next 14 days, it gets cut or postponed indefinitely. And this might be crazy to you guys, but I literally think, I wake up in the morning and I just think, how do I drive revenue today for the business I'm working for my business? And that's how you actually make really a killing in the work. Okay, here's the commission only reality check. Because most of you guys watching this video, you're like, oh, I'm scared. I'm working a normal job right now. And I don't know if I want to actually take the leap and go all in. Here's the truth. First of all, keep your freaking job right now. Just start out part-time, and that's what you do. When you're in a commission-based remote closing, this isn't for everyone, but for the right person, it dramatically outperforms salary. Here's how it actually makes it work. When commission wins, we have short cycles. Decisions happen on a call, not in a 6-week pipeline. You're not selling packages, most likely, especially when you're starting out, that are B2B, that are like, okay, yeah, I need to talk to the business owner and my wife, and this is $100,000 deal or whatever. No. This is $2,000 to $10,000 products. Well in the range for someone to make a decision on a 1-call close. Then you have to understand transparent tracking. You know exactly what you earned and why. What is the inputs that got you the outputs? If you know at the start of each month, if you take 100 calls in that month, you'll close on average 30%, which is 30 of them at a ticket price of, so let's do some quick math here because I'm not the best at math. So if you close 30 of them at a $5,000 price, that's $150,000 times 10% commission, that's $15,000. So if you know every month If I just take 100 calls, I'll make 15 grand. What is the likelihood that you'll want to take 25 calls a week? Pretty damn high. Okay. And then the high upside is that's not the ceiling. 15,000. Once you get into the industry, you realize, oh, that's really, a starting point. You get on an offer that really is dialed in and you get dialed in with it and you make 35, 40 grand consistently month over month. You realize just how attainable 15 grand is. Close rate and weekly commissions move together. So the scatter chart makes this undeniable. So your close rate goes up week over week, and you start making more commissions up to the 30 grand range. The weekly rhythm my family actually felt. So the biggest win wasn't the commissions. It was the family time that stopped being something I promised and became something I actually delivered every single week very consistently. Now understand that I went through divorce. So I have a 50-50 schedule and, we had to I had to design my life around the schedule that I wanted. So we have the reset day, which is prep and pipeline, revenue day, then we have revenue day, then we have recharge. And you can go on a calendar and design this however you want. These are going to be my revenue days. These are going to be my days where I recharge and just stick to it. If you get a follow up and you have to take a call, obviously for like 10 minutes, like obviously sell the person, but that's only 10 minutes in a day. You can still recharge. I'm talking about don't work like 6 hours every day and have no rest days. Like that's not a good idea long term. Okay. So this is how I actually hit 68K. This wasn't luck. It was a concentrated 2-week execution split between booking heavy days and closing heavy days with warm leads, tight follow-up, and a clean process. So here's the calls booked. So this were the calls booked, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2. And this is just a really good illustration to see how actually in a month it'll look. So let's say days 1 to 3, you close, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 12, 13 to 14. Now in between then you can shape these however you want, but then you can see the close rate. So you booked 8, you closed 2. You booked 6, you close 5. You booked 4, you close 6. You booked 3, you close 7. You booked 2, you closed 4. That's how it looks. Now, this might seem a little weird to you, but this is the math behind it, and I hope that makes sense. So, here's what we do in our mentorship. If you're still watching by now, first of all, click the like button. Share it if you like this video. This is what we do. If you want this lifestyle, if you want to work 3 to 4 days a week, and you want to say, yes, I want to just hang out with my kids or my wife, and you're between the ages of like 20 to 40, you are a high in demand person that companies want. We have more companies hiring than closers currently. And there is just the demand is growing exponentially month over month, week over week. So if this sounds like you, we have a risk-free commitment here. If you're not placed and trained within 30 days, there's a clear path forward. So we offer onboarding and training. So you start taking the training course. We train with you one-on-one, weekly calls. And then we have a live placement support. So we help you actually get placed, show you exactly how to pass the interview, get the interview, crush your first month on the roll. And if you're not placed within 30 days, then we'll make it right or just give you a refund. And that's really how it is. We have lots of jobs that are hiring, as I showed you. So, there's not really any reason if you applied to 400 jobs in a month that you wouldn't be able to get placed. But if that's the case, then that's fine. We'll work with you. So if you're ready to close deals in 30 days, here's what I want you to do next. Spots are limited because we only help out 30 people a month. That's the capacity we can take on. So book a call with my team right below, see if you qualify, and we'll map your path with us to see if you qualify for the guarantee to completely change your life. If you have a job currently, keep your job. You don't need to quit your job. And what people do is they start working part-time for a couple months, maybe 1 to 3 months. And then if you'd like, then you can go full into this. But literally, it's no risk to you because you start making an extra 5 to 6K within the next 30 days, completely risk-free. So if that sounds really interesting to you and you like to actually explore that, book a call again with my team below and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.